Would you like to create financial stability? Today, I'll show you how to build emergency funds for your business and personal life. Hi, my name is Lucas, and I love to help business owners and creative professionals improve their finances. By my late 30s, I was tired of living paycheck to paycheck and hiding from my financial problems, so I decided to transform them. Now, one of the first things that I did was build a 12-month emergency fund. And along the way, I realized that I was missing out on a few opportunities. Now I use emergency funds for emergencies. I have safety nets for the unexpected expenses of life, and I have surpluses that help me get ahead on my taxes and balance out seasonal and irregular income. So today, I'll show you how I use all three strategies to build financial stability. Now let's get to it. Now, if you're currently thinking, dude, I don't have any extra money to build emergency funds, I feel you. Just a couple of years ago, my accounts were empty and I had a massive pile of debt until I improved the flow of my money. How do you improve the flow of your money? Think of a garden hose. You turn it on and it's flowing full force, but if there's a kink in the hose, only a trickle comes out the other end. This is what most people are currently doing with their money. They get paid, they spend it first, which puts a kink in the hose, and then there's nothing left to put towards emergency funds or other financial goals. But when you change the order, so money comes in and you pay yourself first, you step off the hose and improve the flow of your money. To be clear, when I say pay yourself first, what I mean is to put the money towards your goals and your financial responsibilities first. Once you improve the flow of your money, it's really easy to build emergency funds, build safety nets, and eventually you'll see surpluses grow. About a year before the worldwide lockdowns, I was hiking with a friend and colleague. He was a new business owner and he was struggling with his finances, so I taught him the basic principles of the Big Split method. He improved the flow and began splitting his money. Over the course of a year, his accounts were growing rapidly, putting him in a fantastic financial position. And then the world stopped and so did his income. Because he had built up his accounts, he was able to live on that money for almost 2 years. Now, that was an extreme situation, but it's a great example of being prepared for an emergency. And that's the purpose of having an emergency fund. Maybe your income stops unexpectedly, or a medical expense comes out of nowhere, or maybe you just need to take a couple months off and get clear on your life's purpose. No matter what you use it for, I invite you to start off by setting a goal for yourself. So maybe 3, 6, or 9 months worth of an emergency fund. For me personally, I wanted to do 12 months and eventually I upped that up to 24 months. Second, set up or designated accounts specifically for your emergency fund and keep it separate from your day-to-day business and personal finances. Third, pick a percentage and every time you receive money, send that amount to your emergency fund. Do this every time you get paid and before you know it, your accounts will be full. And that brings us to safety nets. The purpose of a safety net is to soften your fall. And I don't know about you, but I fall and stumble in life all the time. From a car breaking down to emergency dental work or being invited to a destination wedding that you weren't planning for, safety funds are there for the unexpected expenses of life. Let's be honest, life is one long series of unexpected expenses. When we're not prepared, any little thing can throw us off and set us back. But when we have a cushion built into our accounts specifically for the unexpected, we're covered. Let me give you an example. My photo business is highly seasonal. I go 4 months a year without receiving income. Before I built safety nets into my accounts, the off seasons would crush me. I'd have to pull from my emergency funds and borrow on credit just to make ends meet. But now I keep a $6,000 safety net in my business account, my living expenses account, and my tax account. Plus, I have a savings and an emergency fund. So now not only am I covered for the off seasons, but I'm usually on vacation. Safety nets are an added layer of protection that strengthen your financial stability. Plus, they're really easy to build. First, set a goal. I started with a $1,000 buffer in my business, living expense, and tax accounts. And over time, I built those up to a $6,000 safety net each. Second, shift your focus. Instead of spending on useless stuff, hit the pause button for a little while and dedicate yourself to building your safety nets. Third, Every time you receive money, split it up and add a little to each account until you reach your goal. Fourth, anytime you use money from the safety net, replenish it at a pace that makes sense for you. How would you feel if you had a $6,000 safety net in your business account right now, and another $6,000 for taxes, and another $6,000 for living expenses? Plus, you had an emergency fund. Would you relax a little? My clients certainly do. And that brings us to account surpluses. A surplus is when you have extra money in your account. Now, if your accounts are currently empty, that may feel pretty unrealistic to you. It certainly did for me when I was starting out. But when we consistently add to our emergency funds and our safety nets, we eventually surpass our goals, which creates a surplus. And by the way, emergency funds, safety nets, and surpluses are a byproduct of the Big Split method, and it's something that each one of my clients experiences. If you're interested, comment the Big Split and I'll send you some info. Let me give you an example. When I split my money, I send 25% to my tax account. Because I don't need 25%, a surplus begins to build. Sometimes I get ahead on my taxes and pay them early, and sometimes I use that money for a business expense. The point is, once you set your goals for your emergency fund and your safety nets and you hit those goals, a surplus begins to grow. If you're tired of living paycheck to paycheck, or you struggle to save, or maybe you have an emergency fund but you want to build it faster, I invite you to do 4 things. Start with an emergency fund. Set a goal, say 6 months worth of living expenses. Then set up or designate an account specifically for the emergency fund and keep it separate from your business and personal finances. Then pick a percentage, and every time you receive money, send that percentage to your emergency fund account. And lastly, once you achieve your goal, switch gears. Focus your attention towards building your safety nets. Set a goal for those, say $3,000 in your business and $3,000 in your personal life, and then build those up. Once you build a cushion in each of your accounts and you're feeling financially stable, then the surpluses will begin to build. You could double your emergency funds and safety nets like I did, or maybe you put that money towards investments or start traveling multiple times a year. Remember, emergency funds are for emergencies, safety nets are for the unexpected, and surpluses can be used at your discretion. Each of these offers a layer of financial stability. Now, just having 1 or 2 will improve your finances, but when you layer all 3 of them together, now you're talking. Thank you for your time and energy. If you know anyone that can benefit from this video, please share it. I'll see you in the next one.